Everybody, my name is Dustin Browder. I'm the game director on Heroes of the Storm, and I have an actual professional here helping me today shoutcast this game. I've got with me...
It is H the Husky. I'm also going to be controlling the camera, which I'm really excited about right here. But we're actually just jumping right into the game. Would you like to go ahead and introduce our players?
On the left side is the blue team. We've got Uther, we've got Nova, we've got Gazlowe the Tinker, we've got Zeratul, and we've got Muradin. Some heroes we didn't show you there at BlizzCon. And on the right-hand side of the map is the red team. We've got Nazeeba the Witch Doctor, we've got Tyrael, we've got Falstad, we've got Stitches, and we've got Tyrande. This is your game design team from Heroes of the Storm. These are the same guys that played at BlizzCon, and I got to tell you, they're absolutely out for blood here today.
Now, as this game gets underway here, right at the beginning stages, is there anything you want to quickly go over, so if there's anything the viewer needs to know?
So on this map, what you're going to see happen is the Raven Lord is going to put tributes randomly out on the map, and he's going to ask the heroes to gather those tributes. The first team to gather 3 tributes is going to curse the enemy team, and then when their enemy team is cursed, their towers don't shoot, their minions have almost no health, and you'll see a really dangerous game of sort of offense-defense going on, where the team that's been cursed is really just trying to hold a line, while the team that has cursed the enemy is really pushing and trying to be very aggressive.
Now, it does look like we have Stitches going to be hanging down here in the bushes, trying to get the hook there on Zeratul. Not going to be happening, as it is 3-on-2. I think he was trying to do a surprise attack there. That wasn't going to quite happen. And really quickly, before these players super engage, there are neutral creeps on the map. Are they able to get those early, or is that something that's saved for later?
That's much later in the game. You'll see occasionally there'll be a hero like Goblin Tinker can sneak around and grab some early game creeps, but it's very difficult to do for most heroes. Nazeeba in a little bit of trouble there. I think he's going to take a hit. Oh, he just barely escapes. Muradin and Nova really trying to press their advantage there, but he is going to make it to the fountain, and he's going to heal up. In the bottom lane, you can see Tyrael coming down, trying to see if he can get a pick off here on Tinker, at least push the lane back, and it looks like he's not going to be able to do a whole lot down there. While in the middle lane, it looks like everybody's playing a little bit careful here in this early part of the game.
Now, I'm noticing on the towers, they have something that looks like ammunition. Is that something that is true for these towers?
Yeah, absolutely critical. The towers will bleed ammunition when they fire, and you'll see players trying to push the minions back, trying to push the lanes towards their enemies so they can bleed all that ammunition out of the way. If you can bleed the ammunition, the tower stops shooting, and so that can be a very effective way to sort of reduce the enemy's defenses and firepower in that area of the map. So you'll see players constantly trying to push. There's never a reason not to push against the enemy.
And continuing that 3-on-2 right now, I got to say that blue team doing a good job at forcing the extra kind of engagement there, so they're going to have the advantage up in the north lane as opposed to into that middle lane. Witch Doctor's going to have to be careful, as Nova obviously out for blood, as we saw a little bit earlier, going to be hanging out in the bushes once again, trying to get the kill there. Are they going to be able to land it? No, at least not currently.
Oh wow, and Muradin's going to pay for that aggression with his life as Tyrael comes in out of nowhere to take him down. I would like to point out to everybody, this is still a very early alpha version of the game. You may see some bugs, you may see some errors. There's stuff in here that's not fully tested or vetted by our quality assurance staff, so who knows what could happen at this build at this point. I'll just be praying the whole time that it doesn't crash. But this is an early version of the game. We really wanted to show it to you guys so you guys see what's going on in this game and be able to see what we're doing here inside Blizzard.
Now, if someone is very low on HP, how are they going to go about getting fully healed?
There is a fountain right there, yeah, that you can go to, and it's got a long cooldown on it. It's got over a minute cooldown, but you can go to that and get a bunch of your health and mana back, which sort of keep you in the fight. So you see players trying to force other players back, so they will burn that fountain, so then they can press it more aggressively later on.
All right, it does look like kind of a neutral battle here down in the bottom, and in the center is now back to 2-on-2, as the health there looking pretty good here for both teams, not able to completely push the camp. Now, is there any... Oh, got to be careful of the tower, going to be blasting away. Is there any strategy right now that they should be focusing on, or is just kind of playing defensive?
Well, everybody has, in this version of the build, and the version we showed at BlizzCon, we've been experimenting with shared team levels. So players can easily leave their lane to come support each other, and you can see Uther just is doing that now, trying to move out of lane to get into a position where he can help Tinker down there at the bottom. So allows players to do a lot of cross-lane movement, and this can be very powerful, especially with support heroes. They can move to help their allies out, or sometimes DPS heroes as well can run down to engage. Now, there has a tribute about to spawn here. This is one of these tributes we talked about earlier. Oh, Uther getting hooked by Stitches, absolutely critical. They do not want to lose their Healy early on in the fight, but Uther is so incredibly tough. I think he is going to get out of that position. Some great turrets laid down there by Tinker, distracting red team, and everybody's trying to enclose to engage. You can see on the minimap everybody closing in to try to gather around this tribute to collect it. 3 of these tributes will equal a curse. It can be a decisive advantage for the team that grabs these attributes. Good zoning out there by red team. Wow, Muradin just running right through the battle line right there. You can see Tyrael's got a shield on Tyrande right there. Oh, Stitches in a little bit of trouble in the front line. Muradin taking a beating. I like red's position almost across the board here. It looks like blue is being forced back slowly but inexorably, and I think we're going to see red grab that tribute.
Now, is there any reason to have more than one player channel on the tribute, or should there just be one?
There probably should just be one. I've seen sometimes with some of these characters like Tyrande that have a map-wide shot, it's sometimes worth it to have two, because if anything hits you, it does interrupt the channel. So having a second person channel the tribute means if somebody pulls off some shenanigans with a very long-range shot, you've still got someone channeling on that tribute. But generally speaking, you have one player focus on the tribute, while the other 4 players gather around and try to zone out the enemy to protect the guy who's trying to channel.
So right now, looks like it is going to be 2-on-2 once again. Can Blue get the kill there? Looks like they will be able to. That's going to put them in the lead as far as kills are concerned. It does look like the levels are about the same, though, as Stitches does kind of pull Nova over, but that's not going to do a whole lot, as he is kind of completely by himself. Uther down on the bottom. It is 2-on-1, but you're saying he is quite robust there. He's going to be just fine. Yeah,
he'll survive the battle. I don't know if he can really protect his towers as well. Without any ranged abilities, and as a healer, I don't really like him alone in the lane down there by himself trying to do that. It's not a great position by Blue, but not too. And here comes Zeratul going for the quick kill on the bottom. I don't think he's going to manage to pull it off. He drives Nazeeba back, and Nazeeba is sort of dancing away. Good use of the wall of zombies by Nazeeba there as he gets out of danger.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and ping over here as the tribute is going to be spawning there. And remember that red team currently has the first tribute, so getting the second one will put them much, much closer to getting that debuff going. And right now, it looks like Blue, with Nova currently there all by herself. And Nova is permanently cloaked. Does just attacking remove her from that cloak?
Yeah, any skill shot, any area effect on Nova will get her out. And of course, when she attacks as well, I don't know if she really wanted to engage right there on top of, you know, a tough character like Tyrael, but she did go for it. And it looks like Blue is desperately trying to hold the line here while their heroes stream into position. Red with a slight advantage for the moment, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold. It looks like Tyrael's in a little bit of trouble there. Wow, Nova taking a beating. And she doesn't make it away. Tyrael in a lot of danger as well, but it looks like he is well protected as Muradin is forced back. More Blue heroes coming in. I don't know if they're going to make it in time. We got 2 heroes channeling. Here comes Muradin. Is he going to go for it? He does get off a single shot, which interrupts it, and he looks like they can't quite pull it off. Red's got the position, but they're down a lot of health. I don't know if they got the goods.
Right now, they are up in the kills, and they'd love to get that second tribute. Of course, Blue trying to do a 4-on-3 right now, but it might be a 4-on-2 if they stay a little bit too long. And they decide, I think now's the time to retreat. Zeratul, though, trying to delay that as much as possible to wait for the reinforcements. But it looks like Blue unable to get any of those kills. They lose another one. Now 5 kills to 2 overall, and that looks to be like their second tribute.
Yeah, Red is really dominating the game at this point. Wow, good sort of abusive move by Nova there, trying to prevent that tribute for capture from actually occurring. But they're going to get it at this point. Red is winning all of the fights. You can see it in the kills. It's 5-2. They've gotten both tributes. They're winning all of the team fights. Red is absolutely dominating this game at this point. I think Blue is in a lot of trouble moving forward. They're going to have to figure out what they can do to sort of stay in this game. You can see what's happened as well. The level has 10-9, and that's a critical break point in this game. That means the heroic abilities are unlocked for Red and not for Blue. So Blue's in a little bit of trouble right here, but looks like they're going to go for one of these early mercenary camps to see if they can sort of get back in this game.
Yeah, is going for the mercenary camps if you're a little bit behind, is that a good way? Is that a valid strategy to try and get back into a game?
It is absolutely. Of course, you get caught while doing it. If you're in the middle of a big battle with one of these groups of mercenaries and suddenly a couple heroes come in, you're in a lot of trouble. Whoa. Well, what is this? Blue going for a second mercenary camp. This is extremely risky. You see the level difference there, 9-17, means they're going to get a little beat up, and it's going to take them quite a while to gather this Grave Golem. At the same time, they're not getting a lot of experience points because they're not really in the lanes. So they're going to potentially fall behind even further in experience points. So this is a really desperate move. We've never really seen this kind of move, honestly. I mean, obviously we're in an alpha version of the game, and we don't really know how the game is ultimately going to be played at this point. But I don't think I've seen anybody try this kind of desperate move before, where they go for mercenaries this hard in response to their inability to win head-to-head battles.
All right, well, they were able to kill him off and send him on his way down the south side. We'll see if they all decide to group up there and push at the same time while the tribute's getting captured in the north, or if they try and do run up there to grab that tribute. But so far, it looks like they're just trying to force an engagement down here on the south. They've all but given up that tribute up here. Is this something you've seen before, Dustin?
No, this is bizarre. I've never seen anybody try this before. You know, these guys really want to win this game. They know we're shoutcasting this game. You know they're really going to pull out every possibility to pull this off. Yeah, I've never seen this kind of move before, where they're going for just completely abandoning the tribute because they know they can't win the team fight and just pushing really hard in the bottom. So there goes the curse, right? So you can see the damage it's going to do on the blue team. If you go up to that middle lane right now, you'll see what's going on. The towers aren't shooting. The minions that will move up here all have half health. The towers take bonus damage from any attacks. They actually have less health to start with. So Red is just going to power through, I would imagine at this point, both this middle lane and the top lane. It looks to me on the minimap like Tyrael's also in the top lane, but Blue is going to try to make them pay. Blue knew they were going to lose that tribute, and now they're down here in the bottom lane with this fairly tough Grave Golem, and they're pushing really, really hard, completely abandoning their defenses. There goes one of the forts for Blue team. And Blue is going to push hard on Red. Now it looks like Red has gathered a few guys down here in the bottom lane to try to slow this down. Great heroic ability by the Witch Doctor there. He's got that spirit moving around, does a ton of damage, and he's protected by that wall, so they really can't get at him while he's channeling. You can see that thing just roaming around, trashing everything in its path, and that will push blue team back. I don't know if that worked out for them or not. They got some damage done, but at the end of the day, they did lose 2 forts up front. They only got 1 fort destroyed in that bottom lane.
Yeah, you can see there at the top that the kill's still going to be favoring red team, and they're also now 2 levels behind. You're mentioning the lack of experience. That's really starting to kind of show off right now, and I think that's why red wanted to push and then fall back to try and get a team engagement there. It does look like trying to take even more of these mercenaries over here. That's not going to happen. Are you able to do that? Can you steal your opponent's mercenaries?
You can, but in this position, it was highly risky. All the enemy players were in the area. They were all lurking around. I don't really know if I like that move. It looks like, oh yeah, Gazlowe's going to pay for that mistake absolutely with his life. And the important thing for these teams at this point, right, for blue, you would think, and I don't know, they've already done so many unexpected things in this game. Oh, Uther in a lot of trouble out there. The important thing for them to do is to spread out and get to a point where they can start gathering some experience points and get back into the game. Like I said, they've already done a number of weird things I didn't expect them to do, so we'll see what they actually try to do to stay in this game.
Yeah, falling further and further behind as far as the kills are concerned, and they're kind of split up right now, so it looks like they're trying to maybe split the defenses here of red, but currently they have 3 on the bottom, 2 in the center here, and it looks like Stitch is maybe looking to kind of roam back and forth. We are kind of having, after all that non-stop action, a quick little break here, as I think the team's trying to figure out what their next move is.
Yeah, blue is spreading a little bit, trying to pick up some EXP so they can get back in the leveling game. They're 2 levels behind again, right? So that's causing them some pain. They've got presence in 2 of the 3 lanes. Red's only got presence in 2 as well, so they're not getting much for that at this point. Not a much of advantage. Oh, it looks like blue has, red is going to be pushing hard on the bottom there in the 3rd lane with 2 heroes down there. And it looks like red really wants to pick up some kills here. They're sort of lurking around, trying to pick off any blue heroes they possibly can. Tyrael drops Nova, another kill for red.
Yeah, it looks like there may be another engagement down here in the bottom, as there hasn't been that much action here aside from the base race. It does look like Witch Doctor in a little bit of trouble right now. He is kind of overextended. Stitch is trying to save him. Not sure what's going to happen.
Oh.
No, it's not. Gonna go down there as they are looking to even up the kill count overall here. But we do have someone from blue up north, just kind of by himself.
So that's a great thing for Muradin to be doing. He's got enough AoEs. He can sort of, Uther in a lot of trouble here. I don't know. He's surrounded by enemies on all sides. He does use his ultimate ability to protect himself from all damage there. And Uther, once again, proves how unstoppable and unkillable he really is as a plate-wielding paladin. He does manage to get away from that battle. I like this move by blue. They're splitting up pretty effectively here. They've got presence at this point in all 3 lanes. So they've been catching up on experience. If they can just keep this up without losing too many heroes, they should be in pretty good shape.
Now, it looks like they are continuing to go for those mercenaries, saying, you know what, we aren't really winning those big team battles, but that is one thing that they haven't been able to stop us from doing. Look like a tribute is going to be on the way. Nova is in position to go ahead and grab that. Of course, it does take a long time to get, so red could easily swing up there if they decided to, but right now, they seem to almost be giving up the tribute in lieu of going for the base race down in the south side. Looks like blue may be able to get this one, as it currently is 3-on-1.
Yeah, this looks a little rough. There's Gazlowe in a little bit of trouble there. He's going to dance away. Good kill by blue. They needed to get these kills if they want to secure any kind of tributes. And yeah, it looks like red is just really going to honey badger that bottom lane. They were really excited about, oh wow, great use of a skill shot there, long range ability to try to prevent that capture from occurring. And red does seem like they have some interest in trying to grab this. Oh wow, Nova manages to drop Falstad, but she got hooked at the same time, and the tribute is picked up by the blue team, the first tribute they've captured so far.
And the battle continues over here, and that is a big pickup here for blue, but of course they have to do it 2 more times, and the fact of the matter is they are still behind in kills. They might actually be able to pick 2 up right here, which would help even up things in a big way. Going to be freezing them in position there, but I think that's going to end up favoring them. There is going to be a mercenary moving through the center, though.
Wow, rough. They're going to lose a couple of heroes there. Red did take all of that time when they were losing that fight to pick up a mercenary camp of their own, and it looks like Nazeeba's going to try to ride those mercenaries to victory there towards that middle lane. It looks like blue down here at the bottom. Are they going to go for another golem? Is that where they're headed with this? They are. They're going to go for another golem. And if you look at the levels, they're still down 1 level. It's not a critical level, 16 to 17. It's not like level 10 where you're seeing a breakpoint where you suddenly have got your heroic ability unlocked, or the all-critical breakpoint at level 20 where the storm power is unlocked, and those are incredibly dangerous. But they are going to go for another one there. Meanwhile, Zeratul is sort of fighting it off in the middle lane. They're trying to hold back those mercenaries, and there's the Grave Golem pushing bottom lane again. This is like that sore tooth. They just keep worrying again and again and again, seeing if they can break through and destroy that palace.
Now, I gotta say, this Golem's also kind of all by himself. There is no red anywhere to be found to slow him down, and he definitely does do a lot of damage to those defenses as, again, just going for more and more mercenaries here, kind of seems to be Blue's plan right here. And right now we are tied up on the tributes there, but again, it is going to be a little bit slower of a movement. What do we have going on up here? Looks like a return. They're returning Cinder right now by getting their own golem.
Yeah, they're trying to get back into this game by doing the same kind of thing, and they see that Blue is not going to really engage them aggressively in a team fight. And you can look at the levels now; they're the same again. They've actually evened this up. This is incredible. Blue is absolutely back in this game. They could not win a fight to save their lives early on in this game, and now they are right back in, but just using the pure strategy of going for those mercenary camps, and it sort of kept them in this game. Big fight here developing while that Grave Golem is pushing both top and bottom. Huge battle between these players.
Now, you also got to remember that the golem on the bottom did get the kind of head start right there as the kills are starting to pile up here for both teams. The golem's just kind of marching right into the main base, completely uncontested. So at this point, Blue needs to kind of bide their time and buy as much time as they possibly can, because it almost seems like the golem's going to be doing it, winning it for him if it goes completely unchecked.
Yeah, with nobody down their gauge. And look at the levels. The levels have actually just even again, but there was a slight advantage there for a moment to Team Blue. And if you look at the kills, Blue is actually up, and they're a little wounded. Gazlowe's pretty beat up, but they're still up. They've actually dropped 2 enemy heroes. Oh my goodness, and the hero Grave Golem is going to go for the kill on the core all by himself. They absolutely pushed that. The tribute going unnoticed by both teams at this point. The red Grave Golem pushing towards the bottom. He's going to fight his way all the way through that tower. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, everybody's still dancing around. It looks like Nazeeba's going to get home and try to save his palace. At the same time, there's a tribute finally being captured there. Unbelievable. I can't believe the amount of damage those mercenaries have done.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about this map is it seems like there are many different strategies you can take. You can either defend, attack, grab the tributes. You can go for, of course, the Grave Golem like we're seeing, or you can try and force the team engagements as they're scrambling around trying to figure it out, as Blue seeming to kind of, dust off that early disadvantage they had. They're going to continue going for the creeps right there.
And they've evened it up on kills. You can see that as well. And they've evened it up on levels. So Blue, who honestly, I really thought Blue was dead in this game. There was no way. Once they lost those first 2 tributes so decisively, certainly if I'd been playing at that point, I would have been like, I just want to quit out at this point. This is a disaster. But they're right back in it. And I think this is a very even game at this point, even with a slight advantage to Blue. Oh, good hook there on Gazlowe. He's in a little bit of trouble. There's so many enemies around him right now at this point. He's going to take an absolutely great ultimate there by Tyrande. It looks like Gazlowe is going to skate away with the heal from Uther. Uther just relying on his absolute toughness to get in there and heal his allies. He is in a little bit of trouble. Stitch is on his mount, hunting for the kill. And we have lost Tyrande at this point. She is down. Another hero down for red, as Blue is sort of falling back from this red aggression.
Yeah, we're basically waiting to see, can Blue win a major team fight? They've really struggled with it throughout this game. Looks like so far they are getting pushed back, but of course they still are up that 1 kill so far, trying to retreat all the way back home into their main base right now. And they're just going to have to play defensive mode right here. Now, is red overextending, or do you think that this is going to work out?
I don't know. It seems a little risky to me. They're pushing pretty hard. You can see that Muradin is right back up. He's gotten the heals. He's gotten the fountain. He's right back in action at this point. I don't know. They're doing pretty well here. Oh, Nazeeba in a little bit of trouble. Zeratul with the kill. Absolutely well done. That's Brett, one of our balance designers. Really great player. And there's Tyrael drops as well. He does explode on death, but he takes very little damage on that. And Stitches drops as well. You were totally right. They absolutely did overextend. Falstad, the only red player still in this game. He's going to try to go in for this tribute grab, see if he can get something done. But Blue in hot pursuit, I don't really know if he's going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, he's trying to make it worth it for his team, but he's trying to be a hero. But when it's 4-on-1, that is very difficult to do. He's going to go ahead and retreat on home. This is going to be a perfectly timed tribute here for Blue. It seems like they have the momentum swing of the overextending red, able to clean those up, able to get the mercenaries up in the north, and then also able to get that 3rd tribute right here. So is there anything red can do to try and hang on?
Well, they have got to scramble and get some of those heroes back in the game. We've got only 2, maybe 3 heroes that are going to make it up in time at this point. The overextension is going to cost them severely with that tribute popping there at that point. Wow, and level 20 for Blue. That's the storm powers. That's a huge spike in power in this build. That's going to give them a huge advantage pushing into this position. I think red is in a lot of trouble. This was their game to lose, and it looks like they may have actually pulled off the defeat. As Blue is closing in for the kill here, they're going to drop all of the fortresses here in red's base, and red has got to scramble. They got 2 heroes, almost 3 coming in to defend this base, but at level 20, 21 at this point, you're going to see that palace absolutely melt under this withering barrage of fire.
Yeah, it looks like the heroes cannot spawn quickly enough here. They're trying to defend, and that is going to be it. Blue team able to take victory there. And Dustin, that was definitely a back and forth game. We were able to see lots of different strategies utilized. Do you have any last words for this game?
That was incredible. We haven't seen that strategy before, and I'm super excited that these guys pulled that off in this game. It was really fun casting this with you, man. Thanks for coming and doing this with us.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure to be here. I'm super excited for when this game comes out, Dustin. This was an awesome game, so thanks for having me.